It is day 2 of workouts at the NFL Combine, and today quarterbacks, wide receivers, and tight ends all did on-the-field workouts. Sports director Chris Porter has been at the Combine in Indianapolis all week. He joins us live with which prospects made the grade on the gridiron. Hey, Chris.
Hello, Jeff. No surprises here. Former Ohio State Buckeyes quarterback Dwayne Haskins, he looked good today with impressive arm strength. The wide receiver out of Ole Miss, DK Metcalf, the guy that you know is extremely huge and ripped, he looked good in workouts, and so too did the tight end out of Iowa, Noah Fant. He ran a 4.5 flat. Meanwhile, one of the biggest stories of the day involved players who are not here at the Combine. News that the Jacksonville Jaguars are actively trying to trade defensive lineman Malik Jackson. Now, as you know, the Jaguars are trying to upgrade their quarterback position and want to be able to get one of the top free agent quarterbacks on the market. However, they have to create some space. Now, if Malik Jackson were to be on the Jaguars roster in 2019, he would cost them about $15 million. Now, as you know, we saw his playing time decrease significantly in the second half of the season. Also, we're being told that running back Carlos Hyde, the Jaguars are actively shopping him as well. They acquired him last year in a trade with the Cleveland Browns. The Jags had to give up a 5th-round pick. He was brought in because Leonard Fournette was bothered by hamstring injuries, et cetera, and the Jaguars apparently don't want to pay a backup running back $5 million. Here's General Manager David Caldwell talking about their plans to be very active this offseason.
We can be really aggressive. We can be as aggressive as we want. There's by the time free agency starts, we'll have plenty of cap room, and we'll also have ways to restructure that.
Now, for all of you Jaguar fans who are saying, Chris, give me a little something more on Dwayne Haskins, who did turn in a great performance today at the Combine, well, you have to wait on that a little later in sports. Also, we'll continue our quarterback camp with Mia O'Brien and Denny Thompson, as they will put former West Virginia quarterback Will Grier under the microscope to break him down. That's the story from now here at the NFL Combine. Let's send it back to Jacksonville to you, Jeff.
Exciting.